master plan for better car care. Master Care. It's the mastermind of Firestone, our engine diagnostic center that virtually eliminates repair guesswork. It's Firestone's Master Care mechanics. It's strict quality control. It's a warranty on parts and labor good nationwide. And that's just the beginning. Our master plan for better car care. Master Care by Firestone.
Burger King presents a star.
Now that I'm a star, I can't always go to Burger King. So I spend a lot of time thinking about that juicy flame-broiled Whopper.
Tender beef coming through the fire.
Thinking about it.
Sizzling Whopper broiling just for you.
And thinking about it.
Aren't you hungry?
Your Whopper, Mr. Lewis.
Of course, being a star does have its advantages.
For Burger King now.
You know, I lease so reliable here from AT&T. It's gone through the Griffith Family School of Hard Knocks and come through with flying colors. Of course, if I ever did have a problem, I'd just call AT&T toll-free or take it to one of their phone centers for exchange. Leasing's smart for me. It's smart because no matter what happens, I can always relax.
AT&T Consumer Sales and Service.
Getting ready for green, Neil Bonnet. How bad is the damage you sustained in that collision here on the restart?
Well, 84 car got sideways, and I hit it directly in the side, tore the right brake up on my car. They cut part of the fender off. I'll just have to wait and see how bad it is. The steering dropped down the line.
Thank you, Neil. All right, we're getting down for a restart here. Field coming out of turn number 4. Green is about to fly once again with 117 laps now complete of 200. The leader will be number 9. They're both in-car cameras. You see it on the restart. As they come to the line, it will be Elliott first, Cale second, Lake Speed third, David Pearson fourth, Bobby Allison is in 5th, and riding 6th going to turn number 1 is Dale Earnhardt. You're with Earnhardt on the left of your screen, on the right with the lap car of Neil Bonnet. Richard Petty is back in the garage area trying to get back in this race. Here's where it happened the last time on the restart. They're out of turn number 2 and into the back straightaway, and things begin to smooth out then, Gerald.
Well, here's Darrell Walker down on the inside of Bill Elliott. He's trying to get his lap back. He went a lap down earlier, and he's right up beside of him now as he comes through turns 3 and 4. He'd like to get in front of him and then hope for another caution. He could go all the way around because his car is running much, much better now. He was having some handling problems earlier, Junior Johnson told us, but it's running well now.
As they come back to the line, Elliott and Walter run side by side as Darrell Walter tries to make himself a factor in the lead lap again. Running the tail end of the lead lap.
He took it hard into that turn on the inside, but his car is working well down on the inside where Cale and Elliott have been using the higher route. Here's Benny Parsons we see start to come out of that pack.
And Ruttman screaming up through that blue flag with the yellow bunting. Indicates for those lap cars to stay down. To get up there in the way of these cars, and so many of them. Now reported still as 11 cars in the lead lap. Look at Ruttman, the yellow and white car, working to move around Phil Parsons on the bottom of the track and another rookie, Rusty Wallace, on the high side. Shuffle is on out of 4. Waltrip looking for that lap. Yarborough coming to the inside.
Yarborough making the move, gets in the draft of both of those cars. He'll take the lead into turn 1. Can he hold it?
Cale Yarborough back in front with the Chevrolet. The Ford, number 9, runs into the 2nd position. There goes Elliott trying the high side. Richard Brooks trying to get that lap back as well. Neil Bonnet's car moving under car number 38. Morgan Shepherd driving the 38 Chevrolet. Car prepared by Ramo Stott, the old Kia race driver. Morgan Shepherd in that number 38 today. Here's Cale on the bottom. And Bill Elliott on the high side. Just a dandy race all day here live on CBS from Michigan. Here's Chris.
Well, Dr. Sherritt knows how to diagnose with high above. Terry Labonte's car does have a fever. In fact, it's overeating quite a bit. And on the next stop, this will be the medicine. A pint of whatever this stuff is.
Might be too late, Chris.
Back to you, Ken.
There's smoke coming from that car. It might not be able to do whatever they were going to do. Evidently, that overheating problem has caught up with the engine in Terry Labonte's car. He's down on the inside. He was was tied for the Winston Cup point lead with Darrell Waltrip coming in here today and has run in front of Waltrip all day long, but now he has trouble.
Remedy won't help with that patient in this race. Way off the pace. He'll go a lap down before he can get back in the pits at the rate he's going. He's just entering turn 3 very slowly. Unfortunate day for Texas Terry Labonte. The battle up in front continues to be a real traffic snarl. Inside is Cale Yarborough's 28. On the outside is Bill Elliott. And in the middle, Waltrip trying to make up that lap.
3 real pros, well, 2 old pros, we should say, are older. And young Bill Elliott, they're really going at it. Elliott, of course, is not giving way to the experience that Darrell Waltrip and Cale Yarborough has. Here he comes, trying to push Waltrip up now to catch back up to Cale Yarborough.
Third place car is the man who finished third at Rockingham. There's Terry Labonte saying goodnight to this event. Terry Labonte's number 44, tied at 2,067 points, going to the 15th and mid-race of the $10 million series is out of it. Bad break for Inman and Company. Cale first, then the lap car, Waltrip, followed by Elliott in second. Lake Speed finds himself in third. He keeps getting better race after race in the Pittman prepared car. And right now, Lake Speed in his Chevrolet is right there in third spot. What a day if he could pull one off here. Fourth position remains with Pearson. Bobby Allison's up in it. Dale Earnhardt is not to be counted out yet. Are they reporting 51 out, Ned?
Yes, they are. Greg Sachs, one of the rookie contenders, former hotshot modified driver from the Northeast, is out of the race.
And that's the 8th retiree from the event. Number 51. Sachs will be the 8th retiree. Labonte out, Ridley out, Combs out, Clark Dwyer, Trevor Boyce, Tommy Ellis, Ricky Rudd. The 44 car, Labonte, they're going to work on that car and try to get him back in, and we know they're trying to get Richard Petty back in the race.
Well, of course, those points are so important. Here is Petty's car. Let's go to Mike Joy.
They are still jacking on the front end of that car and hammering it, Ned. Richard said when that crash occurred, he got squeezed and there was damage to both front wheels. They don't really know how this car will steer, but none of the vital parts except the suspension suffered any damage. Petty will go out and give it a try.
One of the men who has made stock car racing what it is in America, Richard Petty, fires it up. And he may be 5 laps down, but he'll be right out there giving it everything he's got.
He runs every lap of every race that he possibly can. Now let's go to Chris Economack in the pits.
Well, one of the sad things about stock car racing is like the Terry Labonte crew packing up to go home early. But over here, its unused tires are now being asked for by other crews. They're being loaned out to crews who realize that you've got to have fresh rubber almost all the time to do well in a race of this nature. Back to you, Ken.
At turn 2, Yarborough first, Elliott second, and still Waltrip waiting for any kind of an advantage to get his lap back. The Chevrolet first, the Ford in second. Packed capacity house here. Grandstand sold out. Tremendous infield. Enjoying this 400-mile, $378,000 race this day.
Ken, you can rest assured that Waltrip is not going to get any help from Bill Elliott and Cale Yarborough in trying to get his lap back.
Bet your boots. Now up into third comes Benny Parsons. Back to fourth goes Lake Speed. Into fifth falls David Pearson.
Now remember, Parsons was very strong early in this race. He pulled away at one point, and then they got that piece of paper on the grill, and he slowed for a little while, and then he's not been back up in the top 5 since then, but Parsons making a charge now. Richard Petty back on pit road. Apparently that left front fender was still rubbing a tire, so crew members out there trying to pull that away.
Back in the 8th position is Ruttman at this time. Bodine is 9th. 10th, and then not going a lap down was the 33. That Harry Gant car that spun, they were able to come around, and they did not lose a lap on the Bandit, the Travis Carter prepared car. Aha, there's a racer running for business.
He can't wait till his day to get out.
He can't wait for those Indy cars to get here. Michigan International Speedway is where it's happening on this Father's Day. CBS pleased to bring it to you. Our next stock car event will be end of July, the 28th. The fastest racetrack in the world, Talladega, Alabama, July 28th. Be with us for full flag-to-flag coverage here on CBS. Leaders, Yarborough, 28 first, 9, Elliott second, and then the lap car, number 11 of Waltrip. Beginning to rumble up through comes Parsons once again, who just shows incredible muscle every now and again.
Yes, he does. Early in the race, his car was handling perhaps better than any other car in the field. And then we saw him, as we say, had a little trouble there and moved back in the pack. Chris Economack has another report.
Well, we're down in Richard Petty's pit here. Despite the terrible look of the left this car. The work is being done on the right-hand side of the car, and it's more than a wheel change. You can't quite see, but the time and the laps are ticking away, and it looks tough for Richard Petty. We put the car in gear now. It looks like they're going to send it away right now. Buddy, maybe we can find out just what's wrong here with that car. What's wrong with it, buddy? Oh, there's a little discussion going on here among the pitmen. Back to you, Ken.
I expect the car's not steering. Mike Joy pointed out it did knock the toe-in alignment off, and apparently he just couldn't drive the car, and they were working on that right front trying to correct that.
Camber and Castro all a scramble on car number 43. And look at 55 pulling up. Benny Parsons is overhauling the field another time, and with relative ease.
He's gaining about 0.2 of a second a lap, Ken. It won't take him long to be there with them.
D.K. Ulrich has been showing some smoke, had been in for a consultation flag. Elliott taking another look at first place for a moment. There you see they had the black flag out, and that board indicates, that electronic board, you're supposed to come in and have a chat. Now, it could be for something you have done again the rules, or it could be for a technical matter, but you sure don't want to disobey it for long.
Not for too long. In fact, they'll give that black flag for 4 laps, and if you don't observe it and come in, then your score is told to quit scoring your car. And that doesn't mean that he's disqualified at all. If there's something wrong, maybe his crew wanted him to come in. They're looking under the hood. They might know something that he don't. And boy, what a scramble we got up front.
Tim Richmond, in a wild time. You could see him hit the brakes and slide down to the inside to stay out of that little potential disaster with about 8 of them running side by side down here into turn number 1. He was coming out of 4 in that big D shape here. And that's Jeff Bodine and Bobby Allison leading that pack. Remember that the Bodine car is 4th, and with the 22 car, Bobby Allison is in 5th. Count them out. There's Jeff Bodine, followed by Bobby Allison. And they still could be factors before it's over. More in a moment.
You are looking at the most advanced shock absorber that Monroe has ever made. Gasmatic, so advanced that in testing, people preferred the Gasmatic ride 3-to-1 over conventional shocks.
The difference was dramatic in the control, the stability, and the comfort.
A ride so superior, if Gasmatics don't give you the best ride ever, we'll replace them no charge. Monroe Gasmatic shocks and struts for the best ride ever, guaranteed.
I'm a chauffeur. It's up to me to take care of the cars I drive. Armor All Protectant, my secret. I use it on the tires, the vinyl top, and inside on the dashboard and the seats. It helps keep things like new, even on this old classic. I do hope the master never sells her. They just don't make cars like they used to. Armor All. It's science, but it works like magic.
From Pontiac comes the one-of-a-kind 84 Firebird Trans Am. You can order it with aerodynamic ground effects, a high-output 5-liter V8, high-tech turbo wheels, and a close-ratio 5-speed. And knowing you probably will. Trans Am, only from Pontiac. We build excitement, Pontiac.
Say goodbye to America's favorite can of motor oil. That Quaker State quality America has trusted for over 70 years now comes exclusively in this unique, easy-to-pour plastic bottle, made to cost you nothing extra.
So long, Spouts. See you, dirty hands.
Goodbye, oily rags.
No more leaky cans.
Get Quaker State's pen-grade protection and no mess, easy to open, pour, and reseal. Today, you need an oil this good in a package this good.
Defending champion Calvin Peete is expected to lead a strong PGA field when they play the 16th Atlanta Classic. The final 2 rounds next weekend on CBS Sports.
With 133 laps complete in the Michigan 400 here on CBS, Cale Yarborough is first. Bill Elliott is in second. In third spot, number 55, Benny Parsons. Sandwiched in between them is Darrell Waltrip trying to make up a lap. Running in the 4th position is car number 33. Harry Gant is maintaining 4th at the present time. Now, he has finished second 3 times this year at North Wilkesboro, Talladega, and at Pocono, Pennsylvania. And now he is trying to overhaul Benny Parsons. He is pulled away from a flock of 6 cars running together in the lead lap. Just behind the 33 car is number 5, Bodine. Bodine has been scrambling with number 1, Lake Speed, and number 22, Bobby Allison. And they've been going back and forth for the last 3 or 4 laps.
And David Pearson is right in that battle, too, and Joe Ruttman. All of those 9 cars in the lead lap. Now let's go back to the pits and Chris Economac.
Well, when I was 16 years old, would I have loved this souvenir off a race driver's car? Richard Petty here. Well, they're snipping away sheets of metal on the right-hand side that are rubbing against the tires so we can get back in the race. And this is just one of the pieces that they've cut away. So I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll make you a good deal on a piece of Richard Petty's car. Back to you, Ken.
I figured he was going to take it home for his den today. Number 28. Here's Cale. Will this be number 7, or will Elliott knock him down before it's over? 135 complete. Attrition continues to build. 9 cars now reported out of the race. The latest is Tommy Gale. 40 cars started today's Michigan 400. The incredible thing here is how many keep running there.
And this has been the case in recent races, Ken, as they, even though they're running fast and they're running hard in every race, they keep learning more and more about the cars and the parts. As we see, I believe that's Perry Labonte coming back out. No, that's Richard Petty coming back out on the low side of the track there, car number 43.
Now here's a car they're being reported is running very close to the wall all the time. Morgan Shepherd using up a lot of racetrack, and there's a great race driver, Morgan Shepherd.
Yes, he is. He's had driven several different cars so far this year. This is the first time that he's ever driven this car, number 38. In fact, he got the ride after he came here.
He just secured the Helen Ray Smith Chevrolet yesterday. Regular driver is Bill Barkdahl, accepting the fact he needs more experience in these high-powered vehicles on these bigger tracks. Ramo Stott, 50 years old, who's driven the car on occasion, forced to bypass this race with back problems. So Morgan is out there.
What a battle that is for 4th back through 9th position. Of course, among those are some of the lap cars that are running right there with the cars that are running in the lead lap.
Jeff Bodine trying to get out of that snarl, but David Pearson trying to roll him right back in. And in the midst of that group remains Dale Earnhardt. Earnhardt has been a factor all day. These 2 are the ones they're all shooting at, and they're trying to break away from the field. Benny Parsons is trying to reel them in, but for the moment, they're getting away. These 2 cars hitched up together are definitely drawing away from the 3rd place car. We'll try to get you an interval to tell you just by how much. Cale Yarborough in the 28 and Bill Elliott in the Ford number 9 are pulling themselves away from the number 3. There you see it. 28 and 9 in the lap car of Waltrip, and there goes the 55 through the frame. That's the 3rd place car, Parsons.
For a while, Parsons was gaining on those front 2 at a rate of about 0.2 of a second a lap. But as you say, they've hooked up together now in a draft and are able to pull away from him. And they've also been able to pull away from Waltrip, who was up there mixing up with them. And that was another reason that Benny Parsons was able to move in on him while he was up there mixing up with them.
Petty showing some smoke. 200 will not come today. That 200th win. We talk about big marks like 700 home runs. 200, put it in perspective, Ned.
Well, when you put it in perspective, Jeff Bodine, who won his first race at Martinsville, Virginia earlier this year, could win every race for the next 6 years and would just be moving in on Richard Petty.
Here is Dale Earnhardt, still in that lead lap, trying to lap Tim Richmond as he fights his way out of 7th position now in this Michigan 400 before a packed crowd.
To everyone who loves the thrill of Grand National racing, Budweiser rolls out with Double Thunder. NASCAR legend Junior Johnson leads 2 of the hottest teams to hit the circuit.
This Bud's for you, for all you do. The king of beers is coming through.
The Johnson, Hodgson, Budweiser Chevys are roaring your way with Double Thunder.
For all you do.
This Bud's for you.
Wake up! If you don't graduate, we're through.
I'm bust.
Here, revive with Vibrin.
Vibrin?
Helps wake you up.
Government-appointed experts say it's safe, effective.
Revive with Vibrin.
Who's been using my razor? Mine burns me. Don't blame your razor. Use my Ice Blue Aqua Velva.
It turns red-hot razor burn to cool comfort. Smooths, too.
My Aqua Velva Men.
There's something about an Ice Blue Aqua Velva Man.
little loss of control here could ruin your whole day.
Test pilot Chuck Yeager for AC Delco.
Even on the highway, I stay on top of my car with the new Delco Performer shock absorber. Its sealed gas cell eliminates air bubbles and provides a constant cushion in lab tests and on the highway. It's the only shock your car will ever need. Never wait for trouble. Get the Delco Performer.
Call 800 AC Delco for a retailer near you.
My music keeps me going in more ways than one. If I'm not riding to a concert, I'm flying to one. So I really appreciate relaxing. Just me and my Skoal. Skoal's wintergreen flavor's #1 with me. Just a pinch gives me real tobacco pleasure without lighting up anytime, anywhere.
Mr. Daniels, smoking or non-smoking?
Smokeless, darling.
Go smokeless with Skoal or Copenhagen. A pinch is all it takes.
Well, here's the encounter for the lead in our live coverage of the Michigan 400 as Cale Yarborough goes high. Bill Elliott's going for the lead. He drops on the inside of number 9. The additional RPMs out of 28 keep Cale barely in front in the back straightaway as they work the 143rd lap. Elliott getting serious now about that lead. Turn 3.
He set him up again and tried to, on the other turn, move down on the inside. Then he moved up and got in the draft a little bit and came right back on the inside. But if you say that engine of Cale Yarborough's is so strong, it's tough to do it on the straightaway.
Cale still first. Elliott in second. The third place car is Benny Parsons, who is now locked up on a 2-car draft with Waldrop trying to gain some ground back. Now there is Lake Speed and Jet Bodine. They are running back in the 5th spot. 4th overall is Harry Gant in the 33, and you are looking at the fight for 5th, and it's been a pretty good one. They've run side by side several times in the past few laps. Leaders one more time. Yarborough first, Elliott second. General Motors Ford battle right up in front. And here is Elliott creeping up on the inside for another strike.
Yarborough continues to run that high line that's worked so well for him, but now Elliott's car seems to be working down on the inside and is able to get a nose out in front.
Across the start-finish line. 144 complete. Yarborough high into that turn number 1. Lap cars down low. That does not force Elliott out of the throttle. He rolled back a little. You don't want to go in there too strong. You just scrub off speed. Cale got a little loose, and Elliott really gained some ground that time and is able to take fully first place and move up in the groove.
Yes, he did. As a result of being lower on the racetrack, Cale getting loose didn't bother him one bit, except he just moved right out in front of him. It cost Cale about a 1/10 of a second or something, and that's all Elliott was looking for, was just that little bit of a break. Cale went in a little bit too hard, a little bit too high, and it broke loose with him. Here we're seeing out the front windshield of Neil Bonnet's car. You can see those cracks continue to increase a little bit as he moves up on Dale Earnhardt.
Remember, Bonnet is running a lap down, and that Earnhardt car is running in the lead lap as he dives all the way to the bottom of the corner through 3 and 4. Earnhardt had been back in 9th, and he's beginning to take some cars out now.
The car looks like it's working well down on the inside of the racetrack. Of course, when you go that low, you lower the RPMs of the engine, and it doesn't accelerate off the turn quite as well. That's David Pearson up on the outside of it.
And from the back of Earnhardt, there you see Tim Richmond on the high side, and there's Neil Bonnet. They can look back and forth and wave at each other. Here comes Bonnet down low, trying to get back in this thing. You still want every position you can possibly get with better than $150,000 at the end of the year in the point championship battle.
Well, there's a total of $500,000. $150,000 goes to the winner. Certainly worth shooting for. A lot of more money than it was when I was there, Ken.
Here's Cale Yarborough on pit road.
And, Ken, this would be an unscheduled pit stop for him to go to the right side. Apparently, when we saw him wiggling up there in the turn, he felt that he had a tire going down. And so they're coming in to change it. They're looking at the left side tires as they clean the windshield and fill it up with gasoline. That's a very fast pit crew. You can see the clock running on it as Cale is down and away in 14 and 4/10 seconds. He should be able to stay in the lead lap, but he's going to be a long way behind.
Bill Elliott is up in turn number 3. Yarborough is down pit road and back on the track. Does not lose a lap, but he goes in the tail end of things. Now he will be looking for any kind of caution. And Elliott running by himself. There goes Cale. Sweeping out of the corner and getting back with the program here.
He's about 3/4 of a lap behind Bill Elliott as he came out.
Bill Elliott in front by his lonesome, lapping Ken Reagan. So here's Bill Elliott in front, trying to win on a super speedway for the first time. What makes the difference when you do win and you don't, Bill Elliott?
On any given day, anybody could win a race. I'm talking like 20 cars, and I feel like that on that given day, if you're running right and everything goes your way, you don't have any flat tires or any misfortunes, you got a good shot of winning the race.
Yarborough is back on pit road. Cale Yarborough has just come back on pit road. Let's go to Mike Joy.
The Bill Elliott team very intently watching Cale's pit stop. Now, generally, George, you wouldn't get as good gas mileage as the Chevrolets. You'd have to stop first.
Most likely 1 or 2 laps.
How long can you go on this tank of fuel?
We could run from 48 to 51 laps, depending on if we're leading or drafting.
The way Bill was running against Cale, I think there's no question that Ford is very strong, and he can pass him and get the job done.
Well, I think it's a moot question now because I believe Cale is out.
You think you guys are the car to beat right now?
We hope so.
George Elliott.
Well, certainly he's the car to beat right now. He's running out front, Kim, but he came back in and changed left side tires that time around. Now I'm going to say that he must have had a vibration. They can't tell sometimes which tire is vibrating. Sometimes the tire will equalize. That means the pressure on the inner tire gets the same as the outer tire. It causes the vibration to come in. They change those tires. Didn't hit the right one. He had to come back again, so he has gone a lap down now.
150 laps will be complete. And I believe Chris Economaki is standing by in the Cale Yarborough pit.
That's right, Ken. Cale Yarborough made a stop a little bit ago. Changed tires, one of which was soft. Gassed up. He had to go 108 miles to finish, and he went out on the track and he found out that they hadn't gotten the flat tires. So he had to come back in and change the other side tires. And that, for all practical purposes, kills any chance he has of victory now because he just fallen a lap down. A tough break, particularly for the driver who worked so hard to put the car up front. And a misjudgment. For some reason, you cannot tell in these cars which side tire has gone soft. Why that is, I don't know. I've asked driver after driver, and they say there's just no way of telling on which side the soft tire is. Back to you, Ken.
50 laps, 100 miles remain in the event. Car number 55, second place car, is on pit road. Here is Benny Parsons, the 1980 winner. The Jackson Brothers Johnny Hayes car in for right side rubber.
He was running 8 2/10 seconds behind Bill Elliott before he came in. Of course, they're changing right side, as you say, and they're cleaning that their grill on that car. They had some problems earlier with paper there, but apparently there's something else wrong there now. Maybe it's not getting the air inside the engine that he needs. Car must be overheating a little bit, so they're tearing away part of that grill. They have that service completed, and away he goes.
Gary Gant has moved up into the second position. Gant is up into second.
Parsons is going to have to hurry. Here comes Bill Elliott going down. We'll see Parsons maybe on the inside as Elliott goes by. He does go a lap down.
So Parsons is now a lap down as they begin to sandwich the leaders into a very small group. But Elliott running by himself without the help of Cale Yarborough in a 2-car draft. There's Harry Gant in second position. He'll have some hard running to do, and as we mentioned earlier, they're reporting the range on that car isn't quite as efficient as it is on this car, number 33, prepared by Travis Carter.
The Chevrolet does get a little better gas mileage than the Ford of Bill Elliott, and it's primarily because of the engine design. Ken, the intake manifold on the Ford has bigger ports, and as a result, it has to get more air and more fuel through it, and as a result, it burns a little bit more fuel. But I'm sure that he don't mind sacrificing that for the way things run today.
Second place car. Harry Gant. Behind him comes Cale Yarborough, lap down. Third place car. Lake Speed is there once again, and fourth place is Jeff Bodine. Fifth place is David Pearson, and sixth is Dale Earnhardt. They are all running in that lead lap. I believe in seventh, you'll find Joe Ruttman. He too in the lead lap.
Yes, he is still running in the lead lap. Has run a very good race here today. They've had some problems with that team of Joe Ruttman. In fact, they had some meetings here this week in Michigan. He even thought about quitting the team. Said, I don't know where else I would go. They had a big meeting yesterday, resolved some of their problems, and so he told me late yesterday that he felt that they had things worked out and is going to have a good last half of the season, so they're having a good run here today. That'll be a boost for them.
And completing that lead lap is Bobby Allison. Allison still stays up in that lead lap with car number 22. Not running quite as effectively, I'm sure, as he might wish it today. Tim Richmond is on pit road. Richmond is having an on-again, off-again afternoon.
Let's go to Mike Joy.
They had planned to bring Bill Elliott in at lap 152. They're keeping lap charts and times here. But they will stretch that out since he's running by himself. Hit him about lap 157 or 158, and then they're sure of having enough fuel to go the distance if we stay under green.
138-mile-an-hour average, and it's the pit strategy that will tell here. Here is Benny Parsons back on pit road another time. Live coverage of the Michigan 400 continues after this word from your local station.
Wednesday, he fell in love with a dream and made her real, but his secret may destroy them both. James Seymour and Christopher Reeve, Somewhere in Time, Wednesday.
This is CBS.
In the next 5 years, 1 home in 23 will be damaged by storms. 1 in 21 by fire. But it's even more likely your home will suffer a different disaster, the hidden destruction of termites. Don't risk it. Call Orkin.
Call the Orkin Army, #1 against pests.
For your free termite inspection, call America's Choice.
Call the Orkin Army, #1 against pests.
Hi, I'm Frankie Avalon.
I'm Patty LaBelle.
And I'm Sheila Ellen.
Won't you join us on a magical musical tour, Philly style?
On the sound of Philadelphia.
From the early days of Bandstand to the soulful sound of the 70s and the hot sounds of today. Take a trip through 30 years of the Philadelphia sound as you've never heard it before, including a rare interview with Philadelphia's own Teddy Pendergrass. The sound of Philadelphia, Thursday at 10. It's everything you remember and more.
You want the real story on sports right here on Channel 10.
Georgia in a Ford Thunderbird leads in our CBS live coverage of the Michigan 400 on this Father's Day. He is in front of Harry Gant, several seconds back in second. Lake Speed, the Mississippi driver, is third. Jeff Bodine from the Northeast is running fourth. David Pearson is in fifth, and right behind him in the sixth position at this moment is Dale Earnhardt. Those are the front six. Then comes Bobby Allison, and also in that lead lap is Joe Ruttman. Getting down toward decision time here.
Well, Ken, here we're seeing how close Dale Earnhardt is to the fifth position. That's David Pearson running right in front of him. Now he's going to try to make a move on him, take that fifth position away, decides no, now's not the time to do it. I'll just move right here behind him.
Here's the leader coming through the grandstand area here. The steepest grandstand there is in racing, but what a view you get there. Now here's Harry Gant. Here's Harry Gant. That is the second place car. Reviewing further back in the field, 10th place right now belongs to Waltrip. 11th place is Baker. 12th is Rusty Wallace. Going third and doing well is Bobby Hillin. In the 14th position is Richard Brooks. Phil Parsons is running in 15th. Buddy Arrington in the Chrysler car is running the 16th position. In the 17th position is Kyle Petty. And in 18th is Bouchard. Earnhardt going to 5th. Running 19th. 2 laps down, car number 12, Neil Bonnet, and 20th, car number 75. Leader coming on pit road for a fuel stop. Bill Elliott coming in. Mike Joy is standing by. Let's go to that pit now.
Bill Elliott brings the Ford Thunderbird to a halt. He's parked a little bit away from the pit wall, indicating they changed those right side tires. A cold drink of ice water for Bill. Right side tires and 22 gallons of gas. They've got to get all that gas in to make sure that he can go the distance. This is all the crew can do. For the mission control finishes their job. It's all up to him.
Good pit stop, 14 and 17 seconds, Ken. That'll certainly keep him in the lead lap because Gant was running about 14 seconds behind him. Benny Parsons still
has retired. He's just pulled out, and he went just back into the garage area as you were following that. And there's your new leader, 33, Harry Gant, 55. Has pulled out, the 1980 winner. Harry Gant is in front. Off to our right up here on the roof is the car owner, Hal Needham. He looks a little anxious, Ned.
Yes, he does. He's been giving instructions to Ben here all afternoon, so apparently he's doing a good job. He's up front right now. Of course, he has a pit stop coming up before too long. His schedule stop. I predict he'll run another half a dozen or so laps.
Now this has moved Lake Speed in car number 1 into the second place, and number 5, Jeff Bodine, into third, and David Pearson up into the 4th position. Into the 5th position is car number 3. Here's Lake Speed in that second spot. Harry Gant is the 9th different driver to lead this event today. Talk about competition. Well, it's a real crapshoot here.
Yes, it is.
Roll the dice.
Speed, of course, driving the car that's owned by Hoss Ellington out of Wilmington, North Carolina. Very religious young man. He won a race in his hometown in Jackson, Mississippi a couple of weeks ago, one of the all-pro races, as we see Gant coming off of turn 4, staying out on the track, running as long as he can. Of course, he'd like to catch a caution to make that last pit stop again, but he knows that he's going to have to come in before too long.
Fourth belongs to Pearson. Fifth is to Earnhardt. Here's your second and third place cars. Lake Speed in the number 1 and Chuck Bodine. Here is Mike Joy.
Discussion going on in the Harry Gant pit about when they'll pit and what they'll do. Watching Bill Elliott take on 2 tires, will that change your strategy, Travis?
No, our plan is probably just to change 2 tires on this next stop, and I think the only hope we have this time is to try to finish second in this race, and that's certainly what we're going to try to do.
How soon will you stop?
We're looking at about 4 or 5 laps.
Ken?
That's the story on the leader, who has finished in second 3 times this year.
While Mike Joy was talking to Travis Carter, Joe Ruttman came in for what should be his last pit stop. He was running, and here's Bodine almost losing it as he came into the pits, made that sharp turn, and the back end broke loose on him. Of course, Harry Hyde and the crew go to work on that car. Others coming down pit road include the Phil Parsons car and Rusty Wallace in car number 88.
161 complete.
Here are those other 2 cars out in front of Bodine as he gets his service, and his car will go down. He had moved into the 4th position.
Harry Gant stays up in front. Gant now the leader. Well, he'll have to pit shortly.
And when Travis Carter says that they just hope to run second, they know how strong Bill Elliott is. They know he made a good pit stop. Unless something goes wrong, they know that they can't catch it.
Lake Speed in the 2nd position. Moving up, David Pearson now in the 3rd spot. Earnhardt has yet to pit. He's in 4th. Well, the guy you've got to look out for here is number 9, Bill Elliott. He's waiting these people out as they're going to pit a bit later than he did, and all of them will have enough fuel to go the distance to reach the checkered flag at 162 now in the record book.
Yes, they will, even including Bill Elliott, who, as we've said, burns a little bit more gas. He came in late enough that he can go the rest of the distance. But even if there should be a caution, and Gant and the others would be able to make their stop under the caution, wouldn't bother Elliott that much because he still is in the lead lap, so he can just catch right up there with them. However, I'm sure that he hopes the race will go on green because when they do make those stops, he's going to have a bigger lead.
Focus of attention will now be pit road and this car, number 9, Elliott, as he tries to stay smooth and out of trouble, and the others have to make flawless pit stops to stay in the hunt.
That's Bobby Hill of the yellow car, number 8, that we're seeing running behind Elliott. He just made his pit stop not long ago, but that young fella, 20 years old, out of Texas, is doing a beautiful job here today. In fact, I believe this might be his best run ever, Ken, since he came on the circuit.
There is Bobby Hillen Jr., who had a real problem last year with his graduation. Had to fly back from a race to get the diploma. Waltrip still tucked in here, trying to make up a lap.
Now he's in a better position than he was earlier, Ken, to do that. However, Harry Gant is running very well, but if he should be able to move around Gant and the caution come out almost immediately, that would serve the same purpose as if he had passed Yarborough and Elliott earlier.
And because he made that stop, he may have better range. Here's number 90. That is Richard Brooks, the Junie Donlevy car, now on pit road. That's another of the Fords. It's just amazing that a little group down in Dawsonville, Georgia, puts out the best Ford on the entire circuit.
Well, certainly it has the other Ford campaigners scratching their head, no question about that. But they have done their homework. They work very hard. They build their own engines, and they've come up with something that is different and something that makes that Ford run faster.
Another man who's having a great day today, just outside the top 10, is Rusty Wallace, the leading rookie candidate. Cliff Stewart car has been looking very good. And there's Rusty right there. With him is Ron Bouchard, 47. Buddy Baker up on the outside. Things have not gone well this year for the Wood Brothers, number 21. Here's the Wrangler car coming out of pit road. That is the number 3 car of Dale Earnhardt.
One thing that he needs is they're doing it, to get his windshield clean because it was really getting dirty. You wonder sometimes how they see out, but I guess your eyes sort of adjust to that, Ken, but when they clean it like that, boy, it looks like a whole new day out there.
Humidity extremely high here today. That's going to wear you down. 13 and 3/10 seconds. Good stop.
Very good pit stop. Richard Childers, Kurt Shelmerdine, and the crew. Here's the leader coming in. Harry Gant coming in for what should be his last pit stop.
Here's Mike Joy.
Harrigan coming in. Travis Carter holds the pit board. He's holding the ratchet as if he might make a chassis adjustment. They're keeping Gannon close to the pit wall. They are changing left side tires. Travis Carter looking on. They will not change the chassis. Sometimes these teams keep a worn set of tires that work really well on the car to put them back on. These are new tires going on Gant's car. Let's go to Chris.
Okay, Lake Speed is in. They're changing right side tires. He's been in 11 seconds now. And fuel, and away he goes in 13 and 79/100 seconds. And it's a horse race from here on in. Back to you, Ken.
This is going to move David Pearson and the Bobby Allison car up briefly to take a shot at first position.
Well, Pearson is no stranger to this racetrack, Ken. Of course, he's won here several times, but he finished no worse than 5th in 14 straight races here, spanning from 1972 to 1978.
David Pearson knows this track well from its inception. He's been here and has been successful. So, the pit stops winding down, getting back to green racing, and we're waiting a decision on the Michigan 400.
Some days your job takes only 24 seconds, the most important 24 seconds of the race. It's the difference between winning and just being another car on the track. Nobody knows the sensation of winning better than Union 76, because we've fueled more winners than anyone ever.
That winning quality rides with you every time you ride out of a Union 76 station.
Go with the spirit.
Stick with the winner.
The spirit of 76.
The 6000 STE from Pontiac is America's performance sedan. An engineering masterpiece that gives you an amazing command of the road. 6000 STE. Technically advanced, totally satisfying. 6000 STE, only from Pontiac.
We build excitement. Pontiac.
Denorex shampoo and conditioner versus Head & Shoulders regular formula.
This side, I feel a tingling sensation, which is very good. And this side, I don't feel that sensation at all.
Look what you used.
Well, I'm surprised. Denorex is the one that tingled, and Head & Shoulders didn't.
Each shampoo has one medicine for dandruff. Denorex adds an extra anti-itch medicine, and Denorex adds conditioner, too.
My hair is in great shape. The girls might like that. I'm switching from Head & Shoulders to Denorex.
Denorex, dandruff shampoo that conditions, too.
Play ball. You've got such style, such flair. Do you really believe you've got a prayer?
You'll catch it all on Kodacolor VR 400, one of Kodak's fastest color print films ever. You can't miss, almost.
Oh, you're having so much fun, but you never scored a run. That's why the other guys just won.
Kodak, because time goes by.
Next Sunday, the world's top Formula One drivers head downtown for the Detroit Grand Prix. Live flag-to-flag coverage next Sunday on CBS Sports.
We are back under caution. We're in lap 170. Ken Reagan has just had trouble, bent up the back end of his car a little, and brought out a caution flag. We'll be able to look at it, I believe, as the yellow flag is out from Harold Kinder. He may have been in contact with Jody Ridley's car. He's up on the wall, spinning and sliding. The initial report was there were two cars. He's away. Jody Ridley is not in the picture here. Reagan's car tagging the wall and sliding to the inside. That brings out the 5th caution of the day.
And here is Bobby Allison and Bill Elliott. Allison had not made a pit stop. David Pearson, who was in the lead before we went to the commercial break, had just come into the pits just as this was happening. So we'll have to wait until they've got slowed down, make their pit stop. So Bobby Allison definitely had not made a pit stop, so that put him in the lead as we see Reagan's car spin down across the racetrack.
From the in-car camera with Neil Bonnet. Taking a look at car number 77, prepared by Herb Knapp, as he collected the wall in turn number 2. And here's the rest of the field pitting. Now, an interesting situation here, Ned. Darrell Waltrip had started his pit stop, and when he came on pit road, realized he was told on the radio that there was a caution situation developing on the track. He did not stop. He continued around the track. Went right down pit road and back out again.
Yes, and he was running ahead of Davey Pearson, who was leading the race at that time, so we'll have to see how he did, even though he came into pits. Now let's go to Mike Joy.
This caution flag, a big break for Harry Gant. He took on left side tires last time. They're going to go all the way around as they did with Bill Elliott's car and take on 4 new tires. A little scrambling around here just for a minute as Harry called in on the radio for a new set of goggles. Some debris came in the window and apparently scratched up the pair that he had. By inches, he misses Joe Ruttman's car as he streams down pit road.
Field organizing getting set now for the final part of the race. Less than 30 laps to go. Working lap 172 at this moment.
So Ken, this is the time when you have a caution at this period of the race, you come in, put on your best set of tires to give it your best shot, regardless of where you're running in the field. If you got an opportunity to pick up another position, you got to give it your best shot.
Here's a sports note from Canada. The Canadian Grand Prix has just been completed, and the stranglehold that McLaren has had on World Formula One racing has changed today. Nelson Piquet of Brazil, the 1983 world champion, has just won his first Grand Prix of 1984. Niki Lauda in a McLaren was second. Prost finished in third, and Elio De Angelis was fourth for Lotus. But Nelson Piquet has won the BMW power plant, defeating what has been just about unbeatable, with the exception of Belgium, where Michele Alboreto gave Ferrari a win. Piquet wins today in Canada. Next Sunday it's on to Detroit, and you will see it live here on CBS next Sunday afternoon. Here's Mike Joy with Travis Carter.
Harry Gant's back on the racetrack. Travis Carter talking to his drivers. They come by here under caution. They have 2 men in the pits with a radio and another one an eye in the sky up above the control tower to inform Harry of any on-track problems. He's third on the racetrack right now. Travis, that caution flag was a big break for you. He's listening to Harry Gant right now. We'll get Gant's comment on how the car seems as soon as Travis comes off headset here in just a second. But what a tremendous break. This whole team has pumped up. Big break for you, that caution.
Well, I don't know. We looked like a pretty good chance to finish second. I'm not sure we can outrun Bill. He's run awfully good all day, and we'll just have to see how good everything is this time.
What was the conversation you were just having with your driver?
He was hoping that told me I hope the stagger was as good on these tires as they had been on the last couple of sets, and I hope they are too.
So the caution flag threw you off just a little bit as far as you had a good set of tires on the car.
Yeah, it was good. Of course, we were behind Bill, and we weren't going to be able to catch up. He could run a couple of tenths quicker than we could. So we'll just have to keep our fingers crossed and hope something good happens.
Optimism in the Harry Gant pit.
Travis Carter, one of the bright new talents in Grand National Racing along pit road, out of the old Junior Johnson School of Advanced Race Technique. More from Michigan in a moment.
Today, the most exciting new ideas in the hotel business come from Holiday Inn.
Holiday Inn is a better place to be.
It works much better.
It tastes much better.
Better and better.
Really better.
Holodex 2, the industry's first bimodal reservation system, ensures your room is waiting. Innovations like this make Holiday Inn hotels #1.
We're #1, your worldwide host. First with what you want the most.
Call 800-HOLIDAY.
Holiday Inn is a better place to be.
This is Mr. Goodwrench. Did you know that your GM car's engine uses more air than gasoline? For every sip of gas, it takes 15 gulps of air. That's why a clean air filter helps keep you from wasting power or damaging your engine. So let Mr. Goodwrench check your oil, fuel, and air filters. Chances are you'll save gas and money, too.
It's another of Mr. Goodwrench's good ways.
To keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts.
Suppose that's him?
Don't know who else will be out this early.
For the Caldwells, early morning's the best time to get things done. And times being what they are, not much would make them shut down, even for a few minutes. But this summer of 1984, the Caldwells have shut down to see something they'll most likely never see again.
host the games this summer, let's hope we all learn that the true measure of the Olympics is not in the winning, but discovering the best in all of us.
Next, join a Father's Day celebration with sports fathers and their sons and daughters who've made them proud. A 1-hour special on CBS Sports. Next.
173 laps are now complete. 27 remain, 54 miles to go. And with this caution coming out, Ned, they're reporting that Waltrip has made up his lap. And he came through the pits and back out. They're also saying Cale Yarborough's made up his lap.
Okay, when the others made their pit stops under the green, all excepting Bobby Allison and David Pearson, that let Cale get back in the sequence of pit stops, which would put him back in the lead lap. Even though he made two very good pit stops. He was maybe a lap and a half behind, but that did let him get back in. And Waltrip also was running in front of Pearson, who was leading the race when the caution came out. So that should put him back in the lead lap.
9 cars in the lead lap. Here's Chris.
Well, it's at that time of the race, Ken, where all of these men here in Bobby Allison's pit, the lead car, their day is done. They've done their best. They've changed their last tire. They've put their last fuel in. They've cleaned their last windshield. And to a man, they're watching their man on the track. For right now, it's man against man, and the best driver is going to win. Not the best pit crew. Everybody's bunched up there, 9 of them. It's Allison, Bill Elliott, Harry Gant, Lake Speed, and Dale Earnhardt on the scoreboard. And this is the way the drivers like it. It's up to them. Back to you.
They get set for a restart. Here is Bobby Allison back in one of his favorite positions, right up in front.
Ken, they're showing 10 cars in the lead lap. Of course, Allison leading. In second place is Bill Elliott. Third, Harry Gant. Fourth, Lake Speed. In fifth place, Dale Earnhardt. Sixth, Cale Yarborough. Seventh, David Pearson. Eighth, Joe Ruttman. Ninth, Darrell Waltrip. In the 10th position is Jeff Bodine. What a shootout we're going to have.
And then back in 11th, they're showing car number 90, which is Richard Brooks. The 12th position, Kyle Petty. 13th, Phil Parsons. 14th, Buddy Baker. Here we are, set on a start. When they come by, 175 and 200 laps complete. They're inside Neil Bonnet's car. Back to the line he comes. Not a good day for Neil Bonnet. Waltrip has made up his lap. Here's Bonnet trying to move around Morgan Shepherd. Goes up behind Tim Richmond. The field lumbers down into turn number 1. There you see the Kyle Petty car number 7 running 11th. Just 1 lap down from the leaders. And you're into the back straightaway with the field.
Everyone will be jockeying around trying to get themselves in position. They've had great opportunities to feel out the rest of the drivers. It's exactly what they can do. So now, as Chris said, it boils down to who's going to, well, maybe we shouldn't say the best driver because the car certainly comes into play, but who has the best setup right now, combination of driver and car.
Off 4. Allison first, Elliott second. And down on the inside, Lake Speed is on the bottom of the track as they stack them. Tries to find some running room. Pinched a little down there on the inside for sure, but he's there. And there's Phil Parsons in the 66 just in front with Speed. Finds a hole in car number 1, and Lake Speed in the Haas Ellington car up there in 3rd place. Back straightaway. Here's where it is. Bobby Allison in first. Bill Elliott in second. Buick leading Ford in 2nd place.
We'll see how strong that Ford is now, or how much Allison might have been holding back earlier in the day. He's led this race some. It's been as a result of pit stops.
And look at Lake Speed gather ground, and look at this armada coming out of turn 4. Live on CBS, the Michigan 400. Elliott closes in on Allison's lead. Speed in 3rd. Cale Yarborough winds it up on the inside. Yarborough has made up his lap, and there you see that orange car up there in 4th. Buddy Baker just outside of him, a lap down. Earnhardt's car stays right there behind Rusty Wallace. He's running 5th overall in the field. Rusty Wallace in the green and white car just in front of him, a lap down. Earnhardt still very much a factor in the Richard Childress Chevrolet. 178 laps complete when they come by the start-finish line this time.
And Lake Speed is really reeling in those front 2 cars. His car is really flying right now. He might be a man to contend with. Will he win his first ever race?
Lake Speed looking for number 1. Here comes Elliott on the outside. The Ford high going into turn number 1. Goes into first place. Allison falls to second. And Lake Speed closes ground.
He is there, and his car's working. Look how he's able to pull down low on the inside. Let's see how he comes out of the turn. That car, look how it's sticking down on the inside.
Allison. Ron Bouchard is just pitted back on the track. Back on the track. Elliott has the lead. Allison stays second after that valiant run down to the bottom of the track. Here he comes again. Lake Speed low. Cale is moving up. He was behind by about a second and a half, but he continues to gather ground. Cale Yarborough, line fourth, is closing. There you see him moving into the front three. 179.
The last time around, Ken, they ran 46.2 seconds. That computes to 155.8 miles an hour. And I'll tell you, this late in the race, that's still getting around here pretty quick.
Look at Lake Speed way down to the bottom of the track in car number 1. And Yarborough pulling up. Yarborough moving in all the time. 20 laps to go, this time by. What a beautiful race we're having here again in Michigan. Always gives us a good race, like a promissory note. When you come to Michigan, you're going to see a great one. Elliott in front, looking for his first super speedway win. His only other win on the road course in Riverside, California, to conclude the 1983 season. Neil Bonnet out of 4. There is one of the Elliott family, one of the brothers, looking on. That's Ernie. Here they are at what, 155, 56?
He picked it up that time to over 156.5 miles an hour. So once he got in front, he stepped on the gas.
Now, Lake Speed in the number 1 car continues to drive so hard down to the bottom of the track. That's one of those times when the short way around is really the long way around. When you pinch the car that hard, you scrub off so much speed. You can see Elliott on the 9 and Allison the 22 gather that time back up as they take it a little easier through the corner, a little smoother.
One other thing that it's doing, Kim, besides getting the RPMs down on his engine, he's really punishing those tires, building up more heat in them. It might be that he'll start slipping back a little bit later because of the punishment he's putting on. But right now, he's working on Bobby Allison. It worked for him that time around, but Cale Yarborough has copped in.
Earnhardt is in 5th. Rutland is in 6th. Gant back at 7th, but he's moving up to 6th as he gets around by. There's the story. There's a story everywhere in these corners with these top lead cars right now as they fight so hard for position with time running out. Bill Elliott. Can he do it? Harry Melling, the man who puts this team together, lives right here in Jackson, Michigan, where this track is located. Here's Earnhardt going under Buddy Baker. And there is, right with him, car number 11. Don't forget that Darrell Waltrip has made up his lap, and he's pulled around Harry Gant.
So they're all battling for position. A lot of money at stake right there.
5th spot right there. Dale Earnhardt is in 5th. Buddy Baker, a lap car in the Wood Brothers machine, and right behind Earnhardt. Here's Cale coming up, looking at 2nd place as car number 22, Allison, has fallen back. Number 1, Lake Speed takes over in 2nd. Cale goes back to 3rd. Shades of last year when we saw 28 and 22 go out at lap after lap in this event.
Well, Cale, you can see he has it on the straightaway. As he picks up the draft of Lake Speed, he moves right back up on him, but he got under him and his car just wasn't working on the low side of the track. You see how high he has to go through that turn where Speed is still able to stay low, and that's working for him. If he doesn't abuse those tires too much, he's got himself a good line there.
Well, whenever these youngsters defeat the veterans, you've got to call it an upset, even though he's set on the pole the new track record. The combination of the Elliott family. And here comes Cale down to the inside beneath Lake Speed. Watch him just slide that car up.
He made it work that time. He got in there hard enough, even though he did go to the wall after he got around it. Now he's up in the groove that he wants, but here comes that Speed back on the inside once again.
And as they were in conflict for that 2nd position, Elliott quietly drew away, just pulled ahead by a few car lengths.
Well, that's what he likes to see, is a lot of racing going on behind him. And here's Speed down on that inside. Once again, he's really using that groove to good advantage. But as long as they're racing that way, that gives Elliott a little bit of an advantage that he can pull away because they're breaking a big, wide piece of wind back there. Elliott running still about 156 miles an hour out front there by himself.
184 laps complete. Remember that Earnhardt still lies 5th. If anything should happen among these leaders, he'll pounce. And then in 6th is Darrell Waltrip.
And it appears as if Earnhardt and the group behind him is catching up to that lead group, while Speed and Yarborough race side by side. Earnhardt's got himself a good straight line, and you can see he's moving in on that group up front.
Lake Speed gambling on the low side, gambling on those tires. Boy, the side bite must be getting worn down on those men.
Yes, it has to be, because he is punishing. Of course, you got to do it at this stage of the race. You get it all hang out. You don't hold back for anything right now.
Now here is Harry Gant pulling right up behind Earnhardt.
And those two cars drafting together appear to be gaining a little bit on that front portion. And look what varied lines those front four cars are taking.
185 laps complete. Elliott stays in front. Cale Yarborough is in second. Blake Speed in third. Will we see a new name as a Super Speedway victor in that Stock Grand National Racing here at Michigan? Our live coverage on CBS today.
Remember, at the top of the show, we said there have been 9 different winners already in the first 14 races this year. There could be a new one. Bill Elliott is not among those 9 that has won. Neither is Lake Speed. Lake has never won one. And the car number 3 of Dale Earnhardt is not among them.
Cale's crew. Rado Wilson headset on, closest to you. And the Elliott crew, anxious, as well they should be. 186 of 200 laps complete. Elliott stays first. And one of the Grand Masters, one of the command performers, Cale Yarborough, lies